Hey, good morning to you. It's Good Friday, and normally Tina and I would be going to Mott to do a Good Friday service over there with the pastors, but with the recent events and for obvious reasons, I'm here with you this morning, and I want to encourage you. It's just a beautiful day today, and just a remembrance of what He's done for you and I. And I just want to share kind of a short testimony, and my mom lived with us for a season, and she went on to be with the Lord about a month ago, and I miss her fierce. And I know a lot of you have lost loved ones, and there's just that emptiness, and we just pray for each other that we get through it. But a few years ago, and it seemed like it was a season of trouble. It just seemed like, it started with one thing, and some of you might be going through that now, where you just seems like it's just been a season of just hardships or troubles or trials, and it's really wore you down. But I was out fencing, and I knelt down and got bit by a spider, and I never thought nothing of it. But a couple nights later, I was getting ready to go to church on Wednesday night, and I looked, and I had two red lines running up my leg, and I said, I'm no doctor, but that can't be good. That cannot be good. So I went in, and they said, well, we'll have to admit you. And I said, no, I got too much work to do. Us men are, I got too much to do. I can't be laying in a hospital bed. And so they agreed to give me a shot that night and then give me a shot in the morning. And and after that, I got really sick. I mean, I was on the floor and just shivering and chills, and it was 80 degrees outside, and I was just a mess. And I don't remember the ride into town. I don't remember them admitting me. I only remember I said, Lord, I think I'm coming home. I think I'm coming home to see Jesus. And and it was C. diff, and man, I it took 6 months to get over that. And then there's another thing that happened, and another thing, and then Mom said, sometimes we go through life, and sometimes we look into the cup, and we don't like what we see. And this is where Jesus was in the garden, and and he knows what's going to happen. He knows what's going to happen in a very short period of time, and it's not good. He knows that there's going to be pain, there's going to be suffering, there's going to be all these things he's going to have to endure. So much so that he's sweating drops of blood. And in Matthew 26:39 says, going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, Father, if it be possible that this cup be taken from me, but not my will, your will. He looked in that cup and he saw in the next few hours what was going to happen. And he realized, man, all the way back from the Ancient of Age where it was prophesied, all these things would happen. And it's funny thing about time, it can be said a long time ago, but there is an appointment and that day does arrive, and it had arrived for Jesus. And he realizes it's coming to pass now. And man, and I really believe what kept him. I think, man, the temptation to say, what, I'm out of here. This, I am not doing this. Sometimes we want to say, I'm not doing this, and we want to run. But I think, one of the amazing things about Jesus is in Psalm 89, it said that he had a dialogue with the Father. And he says, you know what? I'll go, I'll die, but I'm taking a seed with me. You and I were already on his mind. And I think, man, he knew that he'd be separated for the first time in eternity, never to happen again, to be separated from God the Father. God had to turn his back because Jesus became sin. He could not even look on him. You think about that. And so but there was a bigger picture, and it was you and I. And that love that he had for us, that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, never who believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And it kept him on the course. And I think, in the finished work of the cross, where you can't add to it, you can't take away from it. It was finished that day. And I often think people say, well, why, atheists, one of their biggest statements is, how can you serve a God that allows suffering? A lot of them were even, I was reading some of their stuff, a lot of them were even Christians when they began, but now, because of suffering, they don't believe in God anymore. But you got to realize, even from the fall, from the garden, God put an angel with a sword because he did not want mankind to eat from the tree of life and live in eternity in this condition. This was not life. Man, all the sacrifices of the Old Testament, all the bloodletting of animals could never take it away. Only one, Jesus Christ, could do it. It was all just a cover till now. And I thought, what about us? What about our mission? You know, there'll be things that we go through, and how do we relieve and help in suffering? How do we find that purpose? And I think even in a small scale where Jesus, you know, he went and died on the cross. He says, now pick up your cross and follow me. And I think sometimes, you know, man, sometimes it's just that the ability that we can go out and share our lives and helps us to overcome the tragedy of life and all the things that happen because we give of ourselves. It's like that story, you know, when there's fresh water running into the Dead Sea all the time, but nothing can live in the Dead Sea because there's no outlet. And spiritually, that's you and I. Man, if we're just want to live a selfish life and give to nobody, help nobody, and that freshness is pouring into us constantly, but it never goes anywhere, we become stale and lifeless. And you see people like that. And I think that's the message. Man, what Christ has done for me. Why is it that you can help people and they don't pay you, sometimes maybe you don't even say thank you, yet you leave feeling a fulfillment, feeling fulfilled that maybe you made a difference. That's the message. You know, that's the message. Man, it is finished. You can't add to it. Man, Romans 10:9, I love it. It says, you confess with your mouth, believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. You can add whatever you want to it. You can say you got to do that. No, but that's not what it says. Man, if I confess my sins, he comes into my heart. I believe that God raised him from the dead. Thou will be saved from this condition. God bless you. You have a great Good Friday.